I actually didn't want to be a mum, didn't think that I would have children. And even when I was pregnant, I was like, I don't know. I had really bad postnatal anxiety and I think probably depression as well.
And do you think it started in pregnancy?
I think it definitely started in pregnancy, for me, for sure. I've never experienced anxiety before. I was just sending messages to my husband like, I fucking hate my life. I've got no job. I hate my body. I don't have any income. I don't have any freedom. Like, I'm stuck. So you often see people say, oh, entrepreneurship is like the biggest self-development journey you can go on. Incorrect.
Yeah.
Being a mum that cracks you wide open.
Welcome back to Dear Mum. When I started this podcast, I knew I wanted to get this guest on. Not only has Alice worked in the same industry as me and is now a mum, but watching her go from being in the depths of despair in motherhood to pulling herself out and being in the best possible position she is right now has been inspirational. We have such an honest and open conversation about life bringing up twins, about struggling with postnatal anxiety and feeling like she had a loss of self-identity and losing the joy in the things that she used to love doing, such as fitness, seeing her friends, and just being a mum. Alice went through the most incredible transformation, both mentally and physically. So we do talk about her weight loss. So if that isn't for you right now, then feel free to skip on to another episode. Don't forget to like this episode and subscribe wherever you are listening or watching. I know you are gonna love this episode. I cannot wait for you to hear it. So let's just get stuck in. Hi, Alice.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming on. I feel like as soon as I said I wanted to do a podcast, you were like one of the top people I wanted to get on.
Oh, that's so lovely.
100%, because we have been like, I'd say like industry friends. We've met at loads of different events and things, but throughout the kind of trajectory of our life pre-kids, we had a break during kids. Now we're sort of back, and I love what you share online and sort of what you stand for. And I'm so excited. As we said before, we could talk for literally 3 hours.
I know. I was so excited when we both saw each other at an event where both of us hadn't been to any fitness events for years, where we'd had the break with our kids, and we were like both bit bunny in the headlights, like, oh, is this our life again?
We're back.
And clung to each other. We're like, we know what we're doing. We're okay.
It's so true, because I hadn't been invited to an event that didn't mean I had to be a mum for so long. And it was like, no one was talking about kids. It was just about me. And I was like, this is really quite nice to sort of be
so nice
back in that era again. So before we go into all of that, we need to know your mum stats. So tell me number of kids, ages, how would you describe them?
Okay, so I have twins, a boy and a girl, Willow and Jagger. They are 6.5. So they're in year 1. They are so different. They are chalk and cheese, and a prime example. Twins are such a good example of how you can raise children exactly the same and they be completely different. Jagger's very bright, kind of considered, quite calm, although he has loads of energy, and Willow's just feral like me.
I love that, and also love that it's that way round, because I think boys get a bad rap for being like mental, and the girls, well, I've got a daughter coming up through the feral stages right now, and I was sort of conned into like, oh, we'll just sit and colour together. Yeah. And we do that a bit, but oh my goodness.
Where are the daughters that colour? Because mine, yeah.
I also think if they grow up with brothers,
yeah, they're a bit more.
Yeah, like I kind of see that from families that I know where the oldest is a girl. And if she's a colourer, a calmer colourer in a restaurant, for example, the brothers sort of see that and might copy, but it doesn't happen in our house.
Yeah.
It's funny though, she loves to do the sort of quote unquote girly things, but then next thing you know, she's vrooming a monster truck around the house saying, I'm going to squash you. And it's like, she just learns from what she's around.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love that they're different. My boys are totally different.
Yeah, so different.
But probably complement each other in a way.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I'm constantly dealing with the fighting. I mean, everyone's like, oh, you're so lucky to have twins. They have like a playmate all the time. And I'm like, well.
But they need a referee.
Yeah.
100%.
They need a referee for sure.
Full-time mum, full-time referee. I absolutely get that. And so because this WhatsApp group, quite my point, this podcast, I love it to feel like just sort of close mum friends WhatsApp group, because I know a lot of mums who don't feel like they've found their group of mums, and it comes because of different phases of motherhood. I feel like the friends come when you need them at what stage.
Yeah.
Do you have lots of mum WhatsApp groups for different things?
I'm going to be completely honest. I try and avoid mum WhatsApp groups.
That's quite a common theme.
As much as possible. I'm in a lot of them. I don't participate in
ghost,
a lot of them.
Ghost in them.
I'm quietly in the background. And then it took me a long while to find my mum tribe. And even my mum friends, I even will introduce them to my other friends who aren't mums and say, oh, these are my mum friends. But then I'm like, oh, that does them a disservice. They're not really my mum friends. They're just my friends. We're the friends that hang out where we don't want to feel like mums, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And forget that we are for a little bit.
So you hang out without your kids?
A lot.
That's nice.
So even my best friend, shout out Mary, even my best friend is a mum, and I met her through being a mum, and she lives on the same road as me, but we don't often hang out with our kids that often. We hang out more without them.
I love that, because I also feel like you go through phases where you hang out with mums with your kids, and actually maybe you two as adults aren't that good friends, but you are friends enough to hang out with the kids, and that if that's all it is, then that's great.
Yeah.
Then you do need the other ones.
Yeah, I'd say my friends even referred to me the other day. They're like, to be a friend of yours, you have to have very strict criteria. Like, I really need low maintenance friends.
I think all mums need low maintenance friends.
But not all mums have low maintenance friends. Like, this is something I see when I have life coaching, and I'm life coaching women, and they have a lot of drama with their friends. I'm like, how do you deal with drama with your friends when you're looking after kids? Because I don't have
enough
the time.
enough drama.
Yeah. So I have really low maintenance friends, luckily. And yeah, I'm very particular about who I hang out with, because I think when you're a mum, you're like giving so much energy to so many people already. Like, you're looking after the household, you're looking after your husband, you're looking after your children. So I need friends that are going to energize me, and I'm going to energize them back. Does that make sense?
You almost need a written contract before. Listen, this is how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
This is how it needs to be. Yeah. Because there's so many friends that I don't speak to for ages, but I still count them as my great friend, and neither of us hold each other accountable for that.
Yeah, they're the
You
best
haven't replied to my WhatsApp, whatever. So yeah, I mean, I have a ton of different WhatsApp groups. Some are big ones, like the class one, which I'm not very good at. Yeah. I tend to have to sit down and be like, right.
Shout out to the mums who are good at that.
Oh my gosh.
I do respect it. I'm like,
there are some
well
amazing mums in our class who really keep us all going. But I have to sit down and consciously be like, right, let me just go back through the 55 messages that I missed today and read through them. But often it's, so-and-so's lost their socks, so-and-so's lost their jumper, whatever, that everybody needs to be involved in. But sometimes it is important. And I've been guilty of missing that. Like, sports day's been moved. Oh, I didn't realise because I didn't read that message. So there's some groups you need to have. And there's other groups that I have that are sort of splinters off bigger groups, and some of the mums that our kids no longer are friends because they're not in nursery anymore together, but we're still friends.
It's just so much noise, though, I find. Like, once a year, I will turn off WhatsApp and Instagram when I go on a holiday, my main summer holiday. So I'll delete those off my phone. And I always used to think it was Instagram that was the noise and thing that was kind of keeping me a bit like frazzled, but it was actually WhatsApp. It's crazy. If you've ever deleted WhatsApp, I don't know if you have or not, but it's unreal experiment.
I kind of feel like, oh my God, but what if someone needs me? But I guess if you're with your family,
you're abroad, like what's really going to, I honestly urge you to try it. It's incredible. But then when you open it back up, you sort of land at Heathrow and you open it and you're like, oh my God, this is why my mental load is so
because just ping,
huge.
And we have our, it comes on our watches, it comes everywhere.
And then you go through them and you're like, none of this actually really mattered.
Oh, I might have to try that experiment. Yeah. Okay. And so what was the last thing that you messaged a mum group today or yesterday?
So like a proper mums group or my friends?
You tell me.
I'm actually class rep, which will surprise a lot of people.
I imagine you're very organised.
No, I'm the least person.
But I imagine that once you set your mind on something, you're like, right, I'm going to do this 100%. Or is this not
Basically, I took it on to stop the noise.
Because you're in charge now.
Because I'm in charge. I was like, if you can't beat them, join them.
And tell them how to do it.
So even like when it comes to the holidays, I'm like, this WhatsApp group is now closed. Everybody have a lovely holiday. Goodbye.
Love that.
So I think the last message I put was, some annoying announcement about, meeting a new head or something.
But it's annoying,
just putting it in.
It's necessary.
And then my non-mum friends, it was probably something about dicks or tequila.
Love that. And you went out clubbing on the weekend. Was any of them in
Yes, yeah. So I think most of them were all mums, and we all went raving. We went to go and see Black Coffee. And I'm quietly bringing more and more mums into the rave fold.
I think that is so amazing. We're going to talk about that more, definitely.
Okay.
But before we get distracted, I would love to know a little bit about the Alice pre-kids. So we obviously both are in the fitness industry, or are again.
Yeah.
What was your day-to-day life like pre-kids?
Wow, I had so much time. And I didn't even
did.
appreciate
I
it.
know.
My day pre-kids was, I was working at One Rebel at the time, or one of the fitness boutiques. I can't remember which one was just before kids. And so it would be getting up very early in the morning, going to teach classes, going to walk my dog leisurely around the park, planning classes. So yeah, I was kind of here, there and everywhere. I was much more all over the place, like all over London all the time. And it's even things like that. I don't even remember a time where you could just be everywhere. And
to me, that sounds like a real holiday day where you just describe like, oh my God, what
Just
a
all over
lovely
the
day. And
place.
at the time we would have gone, I need a holiday. This is so hard.
Yeah.
But it's not to say that that isn't hard. It's just comparatively. And you can't appreciate it when you're in it because you don't know what you're comparing to. But I used to think I was so tired all the time.
All the time.
I can't sit on a bus and listen to the youth talk about how tired they are. I'm like, guys, you don't understand. You do not understand. But it's a different kind of tired, I guess.
It is a completely different tired. I think I was much more physically tired from teaching so many classes, rushing around over town. I was traveling a lot. I was randomly doing some travel writing.
Right.
I was sponsored by Under Armour at the time, so we were doing bits and bobs for them as well.
Amazing.
So it was very busy, but do you know what? It was a real peak time in my life. I was actually, I'd say 2018, I used to say was like the best year of my life until recently. And I was at a high. I was loving life. I was doing what I love to do. I was surrounded by a really energetic, fun group of people I was working with. I had freedom because I was working for myself, even though I was working for studios. But you're on your time.
Yeah, you're on your own time.
So it was, just before kids was a real high peak moment of life for me.
That's amazing. I love it. And did you always know that you wanted to be a mum? Was that always something since you were younger, or was it what you decided later?
I actually didn't want to be a mum.
Yeah, interesting.
Really didn't think that I would have children. Was obviously very in love with my husband at the time, and he was the one that was much more pushing for it.
Okay.
And we actually had a really serious conversation. I remember it so clearly. We were walking over Waterloo Bridge, and he basically turned around to me and said, "Look, this is really important to me. I need to know, like, are we going to have children? Because as much as I love you and you're the love of my life, I don't know if we can continue if this isn't something that's in the pipeline for me, because it's, family is everything to me, and he's very close with his family." And I was like, fuck.
Yeah, that's a conversation.
It's like an ultimatum here.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. And even when I was pregnant, I was like, I don't know.
Is it because you loved your life so much that you just wanted it to stay the same? Or it's just that maternal instinct?
I kind of blame my mum, because I think it's good just to blame your mums for everything. My mum ran a creche, and she was a Norland nanny. And my dad's he's raised 7 children. So my parents love kids, and they're all about kids. And I think it was almost maybe like a rebellion thing.
Maybe, or you saw that as the only option in your life.
Saw that. Or my mum had a creche running during our school holidays, so I was surrounded by little brats all the time. And I was like, this is not the life for me, thank you. So yeah, I was never really sure. Even when I was pregnant, I remember being like, oh my goodness, what have I done? Am I going to be okay with this? And obviously now I'm like...
But I think that's so important to say, because I think a lot of what we see online, it's getting better actually, but women being pregnant and being glowing and loving every minute, and then you start to feel guilty, don't you, when you're in it, and you think, I'm so lucky.
Yeah.
It's what a lot of people want, and it's what I want, but I'm feeling all these other emotions about uncertainty, or maybe you even had low moods and things like that, and actually it's so common, but we make ourselves feel bad for it.
Yeah, definitely. And then I really struggled with pregnancy. So on top of the kind of already uncertain, I was don't get me wrong, I was over the moon to be pregnant.
Yeah, but those things can happen at the same time.
But I still had that fear of like, oh my goodness, this is going to change my life. And from the moment I got pregnant, it changed my life, because I suffered with, I can never pronounce
hyperemesis.
Yes.
Did you? Oh my goodness. Did you know you were having twins quite early on?
I knew, straight away, because my hormone levels were like through the roof.
Oh my gosh.
So I knew I was having twins. I was actually really relieved to have twins, because I was
and
like,
you did it once.
I only have to do it once.
I always think that. I think 2 for 1. Brilliant.
2 for 1.
But what a pregnancy to get through.
Yeah, I thought, I'm going to be one of those girls that's like squatting the day before.
Same.
I was like, I'm going to be working out the whole time. And I was bedridden. Like I threw up, I think, nearly every single day of my entire pregnancy. Even the day before I went into hospital to have them, I was throwing up.
It's insane what women will go through and put up with.
It was brutal. It was honestly...
So did you train at all?
I trained in the first 16 weeks, and after that the sickness got so bad, and then obviously I was huge, I could barely put on my shoes. I spent so much time in bed. So
Miserable. And so you're thinking, I'm supposed to be happy about this.
Supposed to be happy.
Look at me.
You see all these people, like you say, on Instagram, and there were moments, don't get me wrong, that I loved going to John Lewis and picking out all the bits and nesting, and that was already doing the nursery. But the majority of the time I was either in the bath or in bed, just horizontal.
And so you couldn't work.
I couldn't work, and then I think that was kind of the start of experiencing quite difficulty. Like, I had really bad postnatal anxiety, and I think probably depression as well.
And do you think it started in pregnancy?
I think it definitely started in pregnancy, for me, for sure.
Which I think we're not ready for. We sort of think, I'm pregnant, yay, and you think, I might be sick, I might feel bad, and then you just never really think that all those things can come in pregnancy. We're told so much about the baby blues and postnatal depression.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're really looking out for it in the pregnancy, are we?
And I was kind of almost the other way around, because I thought my pregnancy is so hard. I've just got to get through the pregnancy, and then everything's going to be great.
And I have my babies, and I'm going to be...
Yeah, it's all going to be hunky-dory again. And it wasn't.
And it wasn't. So talk to me about that. You had a cesarean for them?
That was golden. Now, that was brilliant.
One thing is good.
I am the poster child for C-sections. So if anybody's having one, come talk to me.
And it was planned?
It was planned. It was bloody brilliant. I went out for dinner the night before, had a really good sleep randomly. I don't know, it was just had a good one the night before.
That speaks wonders, because that's your last good sleep for quite a while.
Yeah.
So like really banking that last good sleep.
Yeah. And then got a taxi in the morning, went straight to St Thomas's. Because I was twins and I was a bit older, I was seen first. So I went into the hospital at 7:30, and by 9:30 it was a cup of tea, 2 babies on me, and a little sugary biscuit.
There's something to be said for all of that, because you have all the control over that. You know what time, you know what to pack, what day, how you're going to get there. I think a lot of people who want cesareans, it's because of that reason. A lot of it comes from fear or anything about other ways of birthing, but about knowing when it's going to happen.
Yeah, I love that.
It's quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah. I love that. Hence, like going out for dinner the night before, we're like, it's the last supper.
My mum had all 4 of us as cesareans, and she said exactly the same thing. They always had a dinner night before, a little picture by the back door of the bump. It was like they could also organise childcare for all of us, as the births went on. And I think that control thing is quite huge, because I remember I didn't have a cesarean, and especially with the last one, I was every morning in the 2 weeks leading up to it, I was thinking, okay, if she comes today, this will be my plan. Then next day, right, if she comes today, this will be my plan, because the kids are in
all 3
different places. Yeah.
Wow.
I almost had a C-section for my first. He turns out I dilate very, very, very quickly, like 0 to 10 in an hour.
Oh, wow.
He didn't realise that first time, so it's a story for another day, but they didn't really believe that I was ready to push, so an epidural goes in. Then he turns and gets stuck. So I almost had a C-section. I was on the table ready to have it, and then they got him out in forceps. No, he didn't pop out.
Oh, okay.
It was absolutely no popping. He was pulled out. But the other 2, once I knew that that's what my body did, they believed me. I believed me, and both in the water.
Yeah, my son actually had forceps, which I never knew they actually did with C-sections.
Yeah, they do sometimes, don't they?
Well, yeah.
And did he have little marks on his head?
Yeah.
Alfie did too.
Yeah, it was such a surreal experience, honestly, like absolutely wild. So sort of lying there's a big sheet. And then obviously they gave me my son, and I was like, this is so lovely. And literally 1 minute later, then they gave me my daughter on the other side. And I was like, wow.
There's 2 of you.
I didn't think about this when I was like, yay, I'm having twins. I was like, there's actually 2.
Do you know, not that it was twins. When Alfie was born, my first, they gave him to me. And the first thing I said was, a baby. Because he was real. Like you just imagine it all the time. And then I was holding it. It's like, oh my God. Yeah. This is a real baby. And then you have that times 2. Did you know they were boy and girl?
I did,
okay.
Yeah. I knew right at the beginning that one of them was definitely a boy, because I did a blood test earlier on, and they give you the dominant gene. So they said, we can tell you that one is definitely a boy.
Okay.
And then we spent about 6 weeks waiting for a scan to tell us what the next one was. And we originally thought we were going to have 2 girls. I'd named them. They were going to be Willow and Winter.
Oh, wow.
And I was convinced I was having 2 girls. And then when they said, one of them's definitely a boy, I was like, shit, maybe I'm going to have 2 boys.
Yeah. But you knew they weren't identical. So there
they weren't identical once we knew they were boy and girl. Because lots of people are like, your twins identical. I'm like, no, one's got a penis and one's got a vagina.
I can't imagine the questions and the comments you must get. The twins are double the trouble. And
Yeah.
in hands full. Like even just for 2 young kids, I got that. And it was like, yes, I know.
Yeah, I remember that really clearly at the beginning because I have a dog as well. So I would have one strapped in the baby Bjorn. I'd be pushing one in the yo-yo and also holding a Labrador. And everyone would be like, oh, you've got your hands full. I'm like, no shit.
Yeah, shut up.
Want to help?
Yeah, exactly. I'd like
Take
another hand.
the dog.
Oh my God. So let's talk about the newborn phase then. Your husband was off work for a little bit.
He
or not really?
He had 2 weeks off. He works in finance. So
okay, it's quite small,
brutal.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So how did you find that, like bringing them home, the immediate, like, oh my God, here we are. They're here.
I mean, the fact that you just asked me that question, my mind just went...
Literally,
I felt that. No,
wow,
I just felt
really?
it. Yeah. It was a lot because like you say, you just prepare with all these kind of sunshines and rainbows of like, oh, I'm gonna have 2 babies.
They're gonna wear this and they're gonna wear this.
Beautiful blankets and all of these things. And then I went into control freak mode because I'd read all the books. Well, I'd read 2 books religiously over and over again. I think I read them like 8 times in the bath.
And surely the babies will just listen to the book, right?
Yeah. But because I'm a control freak, I thought I have to do everything exactly as the book says or it's all going to go wrong.
Right.
And this is where my anxiety stemmed from.
Okay. And also you had 2 of them. So if you're going to get one in a routine or something, were you the kind of twin mum that wanted the routine? I'm imagining, yes.
Yeah, and there are some amazing twin mums out there who do like breastfeeding on demand and they kind of flow with it. My strategy was I didn't want to breastfeed. I just never really had that.
Yeah, fine.
Motherly kind of, I did in the hospital and then I was like, this just isn't for me. And I was like, okay, bottle feed, my husband can then help, and we are going to be in a strict routine because these books that I had read had said that this was the way forward. I mean, I could have read other books, but I didn't.
Well, that's the book you chose.
These are the ones I read. So that was the route I went down.
You've got to pick something, I guess.
You've got to pick something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously there's loads of different ways you can do it, but this was the route that I decided to go on. And so when I decided to go on it, we were doing it like to the minute.
And was he on board or was he just listening to what you told him?
Bless him. He was on board, but I don't know how he put up
He knew he
me.
married you. He knew this.
I don't know how he put up with me, honestly. When I look back now, I turned into a complete psycho.
Well, you become obsessed, don't you? Because you think, well, if they don't get enough minutes of sleep, then that's going to impact the feeding and that's going to impact the night. And so it becomes like
it's
all
a
you think about.
survival thing.
Yeah.
That's literally how my mind was working, that if one thing fucked up, then the whole thing was going to fuck up. And it was like this whole domino thing that I was trying to hold all of this stuff in one hand, and it just sent me into a complete spiral.
And when did you like acknowledge the fact that you were like feeling anxious and this wasn't normal or this was too much for you?
Not until they were about, I want to say almost 2, I think.
Okay.
Like 2 years. And I think when you have twins, it's almost everything takes a bit longer, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it just took me that long. But yeah,
you
I remember.
kept up that level of control and energy all the way until there were 2.
Yes. Yeah. Or I just didn't even realize that I was so pedantic around the routine until because I think once their last nap had stopped, I relaxed a bit more.
Well, actually, yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah, because I think it was all that routine around the napping and the sleeping and blackout blinds and controlled temperature. I mean, everything.
Oh, I'm that mum too.
Oh, okay.
I leave nothing to chance. My kids at the moment have a blackout blind, a stick-up blackout blind for when it's actually really sunny, and then blackout curtains on top. There is nothing left to chance.
I get it. So yeah, once the last nap had gone, and I was like, okay, well, there's nothing too much that I can fuck up during
the day now. Yeah.
Like, just get on with it. But then I had time, obviously, to kind of think about where I was at, and I was in quite a dark part. So it's probably the darkest place that I've ever been.
And what did you do? What was your first step once you sort of acknowledged that?
I started journaling.
Did you?
Yeah, that was my first step. I was like, I'm really unhappy, and I couldn't work out how I'd got here because
it's a blur. Those first year or two is like,
yeah, because like we were saying earlier, just before I had kids, I was at the peak of my life. I was the happiest I'd ever been, traveling. My body was in what I thought was great shape, but actually, mums, we'll
talk about that.
I was really happy, and then I was like, oh, I'm not this person. Like, I'm always so positive. I've never experienced anxiety before, and I was the complete opposite. I was just sending messages to my husband like, I fucking hate my life. I've ruined my life. Like I've got no job. I hate my body. I don't have any income. I don't have any freedom. Like I'm stuck.
And it felt like it happened all of a sudden because you realised all of a sudden.
I guess.
Whoa.
Yeah, because I guess in those first 2 years, it was just, I mean, I don't even really remember them.
But you almost can't take your foot off the pedal in those early months, because you're like, well, I've got to keep going because the next nap, the next feed. And it's like, you don't take time to
you're
like
just on
think
that
about
hamster
it.
wheel,
Yeah.
aren't you?
And so actually in a weird way, you don't notice it.
Yeah, and then I
Because
guess
you're in it.
at 2, they started going to nursery, so I had a bit more breathing space and time to think about myself, because I don't think I thought about myself once in those first 2 years.
So common, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because
you're crying like, oh
your
my
motherly instinct is
Yeah.
just like, I need to do this for them.
yeah,
But when you step out of it, you think, no, if you don't look after yourself, it's all harder. But you can't. It's hard to see that.
yeah.
And was your husband very supportive? And what did he
So
do?
supportive. Like honestly, if I was the husband of me, I would have left me for sure.
But no, he didn't. He stayed.
No, he's a super incredible man. I'm so lucky to have him. Like he very much supported me and was like, I don't know. Do you know what he did? He gave me the space to heal by myself, to be honest.
That's so nice.
He really gave
Because
me
I think
space.
a lot of
the space and the time.
partners find it very difficult when they can't just fix it.
Yeah.
My husband said that, when we had newborns, if they were crying, I would just say, look, just rock them. They're going to go to sleep or whatever. He's like, but what's wrong? How do I end this crying? How do I fix it? And I think that's really hard, isn't it? And so he must have found that really difficult to see you in that position.
Yeah, I think I'm lucky that he's very patient. I'm not a patient person. He's super patient. So he would just do everything he could to kind of support all three of us, not in a pressurizing way. Like he never told me to fix myself, or he never told me, on what he didn't even really say, I'm worried about you. He just quietly supported me behind the scenes.
Perfect. It seems like exactly what you needed.
Exactly.
And I guess the journaling might have been quite exposing for you. To write stuff down is quite hard, isn't it? And you're like, whoa, I'm seeing this written down on paper.
Yeah.
Was it amazing? Was that what you needed?
It was. I'm so grateful to it, for sure. Yeah. I've literally have all 4 of these
Do you?
books still.
Have you read them back?
I've occasionally looked and I'm like,
It's a lot, isn't
I
it?
can't. Yeah.
One day you'll read them and think, I don't recognize who that person was.
No.
It was crazy. And so then you were journaling, and then did you seek any help, professional help, or you just kind of slowly did this all by yourself?
Yeah, I went to a couple of therapy sessions and actually came out feeling worse,
Okay.
to be honest. I just really didn't enjoy therapy. It wasn't for me. And I was like, I kind of need to figure this out for myself. And then I sort of went on this journey of self-development. So I was doing everything that was. I was doing sound baths, meditation,
Great.
journaling. And then I was like,
Love that.
okay, cool. I'm going to actually
Figure out what works, right?
do a life coaching course.
Okay.
So I studied to be a life coach because I thought, and this is how I ended up being a PT. I just wanted to know more about it
For yourself.
for myself. That's why I did
Okay.
a PT course, so I could understand how to be in the gym, and then ended up doing it. So career.
I think that's quite common, People,
Yeah.
they're like, I'm going to PT myself.
Yeah.
And then they end up doing it. So you decided to try and become a life coach to heal yourself.
Basically, yeah. I did the life coaching course just so I could learn more about how to heal myself. I mean, and when I say I do everything, I went on a retreat. Basically, ayahuasca.
Yeah.
I did psilocybin, which is very similar. So I
Okay.
went to a wood in Devon with a shaman and took 6 grams of hallucinogenic mushrooms with 4 men in a
Wow.
tent.
Oh my goodness.
Like, I did everything.
And what was that experience like? Did you come out a new woman?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. My husband and I both did it together, and it's so difficult to describe.
Okay.
When people ask you what it's like, it's life transforming, but you can't describe why or how it happened, but it basically rewires your brain chemistry and you look at things so differently.
Wow. And the fact you both did it together, it's amazing.
Yeah. It was really,
Wow,
Really-
that's
yeah,
incredible.
really cool.
And so then you came back from that, and how did your life change? How did you change how you saw things and how you
I think
talked to
it was
yourself?
honestly a culmination of all the things that I was putting into practice,
Mm-hmm.
where I was really looking at where I was in my life and understanding the principles of when you're stuck, you kind of need to not just focus on where you are, but actually focus on where you want to be. And this is something that's very difficult when you're a new mum, because you're so focused on what's going on at the moment.
And you also don't often know what it looks like in the future if it's your
No.
first time. So how can you look to that when you don't know what it looks like?
Yeah. And then it was from learning different principles from all these different self-development practices that I took away the one that only really matters, that I had to have a different vision of myself. I had to change my self-concept. I had to change who I believed I thought I was. Because at the time, I believed I was anxious. I believed that I was depressed. I believed that I was stuck. I believed that I was never going to earn my own money again. I believed all of these negative things about myself because that was my present reality. And I had to believe a different version of myself to then start moving towards a new version of myself.
It makes so much sense when you say it, but I don't think a lot of people do that, do they? And they think, you hear this said so many times in sentences, just passing by, I'm just a mum. People say, oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm just a mum. And I just think that is the hardest job in the world. I actually, when women are stay-at-home mums, I'm like applauding them. I just think, that wasn't for me. I found that so incredibly difficult. And when people say I'm just a mum, the disservice they're doing to themselves,
oh my goodness,
is out of this world. And I've said it before, and I really hated hearing that coming out of my mouth, because I think just a mum is insane. Being a mum is so hard.
And it's also, you often see people say, oh, entrepreneurship is like the biggest self-development journey you can go on. Incorrect. Being a mum is, that cracks you wide open.
That's exactly it. It cracks you open. You have to give everything, and often you don't have that much to give, so you're digging deeper and deeper. And you learn a lot of stuff about yourself on the way.
I remember listening to a mum podcast when I was pushing buggies around and saying, oh, you know, you have to find a new version of yourself. And I got so triggered. And I remember crying in Battersea Park. I don't want a new version of myself. I want to get back to the old me.
My old version.
My old me. I want to be old me again. And I'm so glad that I'm not old me again. And I'm a much more evolved.
You're a better me. You're much better. You've accumulated all these experiences, what you like about each bit of it. And you've learnt what you don't like and what doesn't serve you. And then you've put them all together into a new version, because the old version didn't have your beautiful children. So you don't want that old version.
No.
And I have definitely felt that before. When we moved out of London, I spent a year saying to my husband, we're going back, we're moving back into London. I miss it. And what I actually missed was the life I used to have when I lived in London, the freedom, the popping out to the shops, seeing my friends for drinks after work, being able to do whatever I liked. And I had to talk myself around it, thinking if I moved back to London now with my kids, I still wouldn't have that freedom.
Yeah, and there's something really in that, because when I was in the depths of despair, I was like, I'm moving to New York. I'm moving because my family live there. I was like, I'm moving. And I feel like when we know, we don't know at the time, but when there's something about us we need to change, or our lifestyle, we automatically think it's probably easier just to move.
Oh, it's not us, it's the place we're in, or it's everything, it's the house we live in. And so it's easier to change everything about you, but not you.
Yeah, 100%.
Blame somebody else.
Yeah.
So talk to me about, you've said a lot online about your physical being. So you were not happy in your body in pregnancy and postpartum, and talk to me about that journey. So you started off saying you were in the best shape of your life pre-pregnancy. I'm not saying then what happened, because we know what happens in pregnancy. The body goes through all sorts, and it changes and it grows human beings. But what happened for you?
I mean, I was the weight of a bear. I Googled it. I was the same weight as a bear. That was really hard for me, obviously, for my body to go through that transformation. And I think it's a lot harder postpartum than pregnancy. I know some people...
Oh my God, a lot harder.
Because when you're pregnant, you still be in a bikini, you're all tight and
and everyone looks at you like you're just amazing.
Glowing, and well done you. And then suddenly you're postpartum and you're like, okay, this is not the body that I've ever experienced.
And that's overnight, because the pregnancy is slow.
Yeah.
And I feel like you grow steadily, quite fast over 9 months, but you grow steadily, whereas you have the babies and then literally overnight you're a different body. That is 100%. Hard. That is hard to look at.
Yeah. It was really hard. I yo-yoed for probably 3-4 years, where I don't think my mindset was in the right place. My nervous system was shot to shit.
That's it, nervous system.
100%. I know, like you and I looking
you just don't realise you're in fight or flight. The whole time you've got young kids and you're in that, I'm a mum and I've got to do everything as a mum and they're more important than me. Your body is in fight or flight.
Yeah.
And it can't keep that up forever. And your body, what our body's telling us is like, we're struggling, but we immediately
let's hold on to this food because she's about to die.
Exactly. It doesn't know whether we're running away from a bear or whether we are just a bit stressed because our kids won't eat their dinner. It's like, it's full on.
Yeah, it's full on. So I was in a body I didn't recognize. I was obviously doing a lot of mindset work, and mentally I felt like my mind had healed. So I was helping all these women with anxiety. I'd sorted my anxiety out, but my body was still unrecognizable. And I was like, how am I not getting this right? I'm a qualified life coach. I'm a personal trainer. I know all of the things. Why am I yo-yoing? Like, how is this not working for me? If anybody should be able to do it, it's me, which obviously then came with a bit of shame because I had all the tools and it still wasn't working. And now I've got to where I am. I know exactly what wasn't working. It was my belief system. I didn't believe it was possible for me. I didn't believe that I could look as good or better post kids.
And you sort of had a barrier down thinking, well, I've lost some weight, but this is probably as good as it's going to get.
100%.
Let's leave it here.
100%.
Then you go into that spiral where you like fall off the bandwagon and then you're like, oh, fuck it, I'll just give up. And then you start again and then it goes round and round. And it's a real negative spiral, isn't it?
Totally. Yeah. So I just believed for a long time, oh, I'm never going to look like I did in 2018, my peak year. And you're just going into like how your brain works. Your mind doesn't care about what your goals are. It cares about your self-concept. It cares about what you believe to be true, and it seeks out those actions. So until I changed the belief, like, okay, actually I can look as good or if not better post kids, and I can do this and I can carve out the time for myself, that's when I actually started taking proper action, and it was much more.
And was it a case of just talking to yourself differently, or how did you actually change what you believed?
I did a lot of visualization, actually.
Did you?
Yeah. I used Instagram. I think Instagram gets a bad rap a lot of time for people comparing, but I actually use it almost like a Pinterest board because I seek out people. I'm like, if you can do it, I can do it. And hopefully now I'm one of those people.
Yeah. Oh my God, you 100% are. Thank you. I feel like your Instagram is my mini pep talk that I just, whenever it comes across, I'm like, yeah, I could do that too. It's like because you're so passionate about it, and you're unwavering. So it's not like, oh no, I understand that. Maybe next week's going to be your week. You're like, no, absolutely, you can do it.
Yeah, and I'm passionate about it because I know what it feels like.
Yeah,
like to really feel like you can't do something and then being able to do it. I'm like, I just want to cheer for all the women and be like, come on, if I can do it,
that up and
you can do it. You know, I've got an underactive thyroid. I've had a C-section. I've had twins. I'm in my 40s. Like, I have all the things that are meant to be going against us and prove that it's possible. But I used to look on Instagram and I'd see other people. And I remember looking at this one reel, and it was a year and a half ago. And it was one of those transformation reels, like January, February, March, April. And I was like, I'm going to do that.
And you have?
And I have. And I did that exact reel,
That's amazing. And you never know what that one trigger point's going to be that sets you forward to be like, okay, I'm in. And I think for me, seeing you going through that has been amazing, because the thing that I take away from it is the prioritizing yourself and committing to it. So showing up for yourself and being like, I deserve that. Because you also still go on holiday and eat donuts and eat pizza and have drinks sometimes. But when you're in it, you're in it. Like, I just feel like you have a real belief in yourself, and it's so obvious to everybody.
Oh, thank you. Do you know what's, I think, a missing part that people don't actually talk about is lots of people think, oh, I need to make time for myself because obviously I'm a mum and I've got kids. But it's also prioritizing yourself around your friendship groups, because I would get a lot of stick at the time, like, oh, you're so boring, you're not drinking. Or I remember going out for dinner once and I was like, guys, I'm not going to eat at the restaurant because I'm going to go and eat my meal prep at home. And I was like properly like in it. And I'd get a lot of stick for it. And you really have to stick up for yourself. Like, no, I am my number one priority. Your dinner and your enjoyment is not my priority.
I'm still here chatting to you. Yeah, it's very interesting because I think I've had that before. I remember at university, I didn't want to drink. I can't even remember the reason. And my friend said, I'm going up to the bar, let me get you a drink. And I asked for a soda water or something. Back it came with vodka in it. And I remember saying, what I'm drinking is none of your business.
So basically spiking you.
Basically. I'm like, I'm still here having fun with you. I'm not leaving. I'm still here chatting with everybody. And the fact that you think, how dare she not have a drink?
Yeah, it's like, am I boring? Or is it you're just bored without alcohol?
Yeah, exactly. And so I think you're right. You really need to stand up for yourself and don't feel like you need to say, why really? It's like, well, I'm just not.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm just not. And have you found that all of your friends have just got on board now and there's no...
Yeah. I mean, my close girlfriends, we're now like all locked in together, which is what's so lovely, because, you know, you are the people you spend time around. So yeah, we're all, like I said, I'm very picky with my friends. I have low maintenance friends, and I have friends that support women. So there's no jealousy or competition. So we're all like cheering each other on. We all send each other our gym videos and our outfit pics and like, yay, go girl.
And have you got them all onto your training plans?
Yes.
Amazing. So tell me about that. So you've become a coder. You've like created this amazing, is it AI?
It is a fitness coach that uses AI. So
cool.
It basically creates all of your programs for you, and the difference, and then you track them like using a workout tracker. But the difference is it then coaches you through. So you are progressing each week. It will recommend which weights you should be increasing.
Because you've said which ones you did last week, and then it will update it.
Yeah. So similar to if you were to have a PT who was checking and writing down your program, it does that automatically for you. Now, I am a PT, so I can say this. I'm not trying to get rid of all PTs.
Yeah.
But not everybody's ready for a personal trainer. Like everybody has to have, or can afford one. So there needs to be an entry level point. And what my mission and goal is to get more, like you, more women strength training, but strength training effectively, because this is where I feel there's a real gap. And what frustrates women is they go and do the strength training and they're not getting the results, but they're not strength training with progressive overload. They're doing
because you did a post, and I really loved it, because it was like, you're working out or are you training?
Yeah.
And so lots of my plans are for mums who are just starting, and so for me, working out really works for them, because they're going from doing nothing to moving their body.
Brilliant.
But when you get through that phase where you've sort of regained your strength, you've managed to create the habits where you create that time for yourself in the week.
Yeah.
Then that's where training needs to come in, and you do need a progressive plan. Like I said yesterday to somebody in the gym, I was like shaking walking down the stairs. My legs were shaking.
Oh, no.
He was like, she said, what was your workout? And I told her, and it was 5 exercises. She was like, so what was the next circuit? I said, no, that was it. It was like 2 supersets and then an exercise at the end. And she was like, is that not boring? I love it. I know you do the same.
Yesterday.
I love that. Yeah. But and I have got stronger each and every week doing that, because I am focusing on it. But not everybody is ready for that kind of training.
No, I love that you said that. I'm so glad. Or maybe I need to do another reel to actually address that.
No, it's amazing.
For people who are new to exercise, or they're just coming back from kids, workouts is exactly what you should be doing like working out, feeling energized, carving the time for yourself, getting in a routine. But when you then get to that level, and this is the same with Pilates, right? I'm just going to say it. Pilates is great up to a certain point, but then you are going to meet a point where your body is strong enough to do it, and you can't overload the muscles.
There's no more weights.
There's no more weights to do. Yeah. Like it's you're going against your body weight. So what happens when you can lift your body weight? Like
then what?
You need to increase.
Yeah, absolutely. But it depends on what their goals are, because maybe their goals are just because they like Pilates, in which case do Pilates.
100%.
I put a workout in my monthly plans every so often, which everybody loves, and it's called a no repeater workout. And it's basically cardio, but it's like 20 exercises back to back. Every single one's different, and it's more for fun. And I say it in the class, I say, this is a bit of what you want.
Yeah.
And the other class is a bit of what you need, because I know you love this and it is fun, but it's not going to get you very far in terms of building huge amounts of strength or anything like that. But it is a bit of fun, and we're going to sort of dance our way through it. And I used to have that when I trained clients. I would want them to do this superset session where there was just 3 supersets in the whole hour, but they were like, repeat again. And I'm like, I know, but that's how you get stronger. So it is the difference, but it's also where you are in your journey of getting strong and getting fit is what you need. But I've had a lot of clients and people come to me and say, should I start doing yoga, or should I start doing Pilates? And it's like, if you don't like it, don't do it. But you need to find something that you like.
Yeah.
And, my husband says to me, it's in the gym doing 5 exercises 4 times round. Like, I can't think of anything worse. For him, no, he doesn't like that at all. Yeah. So he needs to, for him, sport is what he prefers to do.
Yeah.
He prefers something else. But you have to find a way of enjoying it, because you need to do it a lot.
Yeah, and I
get
think
the results.
Like what you said, it really depends on what your goals are. And I think not everybody, but a lot of women who are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, who have had children, a lot of their goals typically are aesthetic. They want to look
better.
Which is
also totally fine.
Yeah. And to train for aesthetics is very different to train just for general fitness. So I think there's much more out there and much more knowledge for people to understand how to train for aesthetics now. And obviously when you were younger, pre-30s, you could just do any form of training and it would work because, you know, you're not losing muscle mass. It's only after 30 that your muscle mass decreases and you have to focus on it more. And we're slamming protein down everybody's throats every 5 minutes.
And also, to a certain extent, if you're doing sport and exercise to get fit, the aesthetics will come, but there reaches a point where it's like, oh, now you need more. And you know what I said to someone yesterday, this same person, I feel like it's like our parents' generation that is stuck because our generation have learned that weights is the way forward. It's very good for us. I don't see any young people in my gym on the cross trainer for hours. No. They're all lifting weights. Yeah. So I feel like the message is filtering through. My mum and her friends are lifting weights now, but it's taken them a long time to understand that, they're not going to get bulky and all those kind of things. Because I think that was like fed to them so strongly, wasn't it? It's like cardio, low carb, everything. Whereas I feel like we're all learning.
We're the generation to change.
We're the generation to change. And like my kids watch me lift weights and Alfie already says to me like, oh, how much was on the bar? Like he wants to know. And I love that because I think it's great and they see it as such a normal thing. Yeah. Your kids go to the gym with you sometimes, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And I'm so happy that they do. Well, basically, when it comes to holidays, I'm not giving up my gym time. So we have a rule that we do mummy's gym first and then we do a fun activity for them. So everybody has their activity during the day. And they actually love it. So the other day I was like, don't worry, we're not going to go to the gym. We're just going to do your activity today because I really needed a rest day. And they were like, no, mummy, we really want to go to the gym. Wow. And they come and they'll watch me for a bit and then they'll also, you know, do some sketchbooks and stuff. But I'm so pleased they are because you have so many men and women who go into gyms and they're very intimidated. But the fact that my kids at 6 are wandering around a like scary bodybuilding gym, hopefully, you know, when they're older, this won't be a scary place for them.
And the gym's fine with them just coming along.
Yeah, they're very supportive.
I think that's amazing. Because it has to be something that's just seen as a normal thing. My kids are like, oh, mummy's gone to the gym because she wants to get strong. And it's so sweet. When they were at school and I picked them up and they said, at PE, they were doing a warm-up and Alfie said, my mummy makes people do press-ups. And down he goes into his plank. And it's so nice. It's so good.
It's so lovely.
For them to see it as a normal thing and not I've got to go to the gym.
Yeah, and it's even the people that are members at the gym, I think it's even really good for them to see and they're very supportive. Like sometimes I'll literally be doing deadlift and then I'm running up the stairs to open a snack and running back down. And this one guy was just literally like, and I was like, this is what mums have to do.
But it's also the school holidays, the childcare, it is a real barrier. But it's one of those things I always say to people that you have to be organised. When you have kids, things don't just happen anymore, which is a real shame. We used to just see when we fancied going to the gym and then just going 100%. And staying there for 2 hours if we wanted and whatever, whereas things just don't happen anymore.
I mean, even when we were planning this podcast, I was like, can we make sure we do it either at the first end of the day or just before pickup so I can make sure I can go to the gym in the middle?
And I loved that because I do the same. And it's like, I'm going to be doing these recordings today and then I've already brought my gym stuff too so I can go before I go home because it's important to me. And I no longer feel guilty about prioritising it around anything else.
No.
And I will be very honest and say that. And I think it's more about involving everybody. So, you know, mums listening to this might think, yeah, but my husband works and I work and then I've got this full-time this, full-time that. And it's like, okay, well, it might then just have to be eating into your family time on the weekend. You might just have to say to your partner, I need to go and train. He might need to train too. And it's making sure that you don't put that off because you think, well,
I was speaking to a client about this who felt really guilty about taking time away from her kids because she works full time and she doesn't get to see them much during the week. So at the weekend, she's like, you know, I feel bad. And I was like, but let's be honest about the difference between quality and quantity of time that you spend with your kids, because I know that my kids would much rather me spend like 15 minutes fully engaged doing like toys and everything with them than an hour of me kind of zoned out scrolling on my phone.
Yeah.
So I'm very intentional about time with my kids. I don't necessarily think they need so much quantity with me, but they need quality from me. So if they get less from me, they will get more from me in terms of presence.
And also we all know that when mums come back from their training, we are better people.
100%.
We are better wives. We're better mums. And they know that. They've once said to me, do you think you need to go to the gym? I'm like, yeah, I do. Off I go. Because they know I'm impatient. I get ratty.
Yeah.
And when I come home from the gym, I'm like, bring it on. Let's do this because I've got the energy.
No worries. Yes to everything.
Yeah. I've done my thing. So let's have a fun day for you.
I've smashed the kitchen's a mess. No problem, darling.
So true. So true. So what would your advice, I mean, you've given so much advice, what would your advice be to a mum who's listening right now, who feels like she's got young kids, she's in the depths of it, she really wants to make those changes, she wants to train, she wants to eat well? Where do you start? What's the low-hanging fruit here? What can you do first?
The first thing I would do is actually visualize what you want that to look like. Like, who do you want to look like? Who do you want to be? Because your mind needs a map of where it actually wants to go to. And it's a lot easier to make those decisions and actions unconsciously. And our unconscious mind works in visual, it doesn't understand language. So you can say, I want to do this, I want to do that, or this is my goal. And it's going to be really hard and very tractious to, is that even a word? But to get there, let's just throw that in. I've just coined a word on the podcast. Everybody can use that one. Free
Love
one.
That.
But it can feel really hard to get there. Whereas if you give your mind an actual vision of, what does that look like for you? Who do you want to look like visually, or more energy, or whatever it is? I would start by actually really thinking about designing what you want to look like or feel like,
and writing
or
it down,
and writing it down, but really actually having a vision for it. Because once you do, you'll find that you take the action so much more easily.
I like that. And I heard someone say once, and I think about it almost daily, if someone followed you around for the week, would they know what your goal is?
Ooh.
Isn't that amazing? Because there's some weeks where I don't think they would, because I wasn't acting like I was going towards that goal. And other times you think, yeah, because I'm intentionally doing all these things for that goal. So it's interesting to think, if I don't know what that goal is, how is anyone around me going to help support me? Because
100%.
I'm not letting them.
Yeah,
that's really good.
The other thing I would say is to start small. I think people have goals that are so big that can really overwhelm us and overwhelm the mind. People say to me, I really want to lose 20 kg. Great, that's your kind of big goal.
Let's lose one.
But let's use
two.
one. I want you just to focus on one, because once you lose that one, your brain is much more motivated to do it again. It gets that reward system. It's like, oh my God, it's working. Look what we've done.
Yeah.
And then you want to go and do another one. So just really breaking things down, even if it's like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym 1 time a week.
Yeah.
Once.
And then once you start to get into the habit, you think, oh, I'm going to go too.
Yeah. And you feel good. And then,
yeah.
So starting small, I think people need to just break things down.
Amazing.
Not too much pressure.
Oh my gosh. Well, I wonder, we probably have to wrap it up, because I could just keep going and going and going. But let everybody know where they can follow you, because if you're not following Alice, you need to. What's your Instagram?
It's just Alice Rickard with an underscore, because some bitch got the Alice Rickard before.
Oh, how dare they? Alice Rickard _. You need to follow her, because the pep talks that you, I don't know, intentionally give out they really are amazing. And you are proof that you can be in the depths of despair in motherhood's consuming you, and you have come out the other side and are feeling your best self. Is 2018 still your best year?
No, definitely not.
Is it this year?
100%.
Yes. How amazing is that? Now, I want everybody on this podcast to leave a post-it note. Say you were going to a mum's house and you wanted to leave something on her fridge for her to come back into and have a little read. What would you write down? It's right in front of you. Yeah, write it down. It could be funny, it could be emotional.
It was going to be completely different to this, but you know what? I'm just going to tell all mums, go to a rave.
Go to a rave. Oh yeah, we didn't even speak about raving. That's your cardio, isn't it?
It is my cardio. You're going to get 20,000 steps. You're going to just be in a land of happiness.
I feel like you might need to host one. Ooh. Not a rave, but get a whole group of mums together, and we'll all go together.
100%.
It's quite intimidating for someone who isn't a raver.
Yeah.
But I look at you, and when you go and I see all your stories, I think,
you need to come with me.
I want to come. Yeah, and I think you should bring some mums along and make it not intimidating.
Oh, I love this idea.
Yes.
Okay, comment below if you want to be raving.
Watch this space. Comment below if you want to go raving. Thank you so much for coming on, and I just can't wait to see how the rest of your year goes.
Thank you for having me.